This is Dan of 𝗥𝗲𝗥𝗘. I'm fortunate enough today to have a guest star, Armand, and he is the owner and builder of 𝗥𝗲𝗏 Sunset Lodge, which is where we're sitting today. Welcome to my channel.
Thank you, Dan.
So Chung and I came here and we're staying in his beautiful lodge on Lake 𝗥𝗲𝗏 in Guatemala, and we got chatting with him, and he has a lot of he has a great life and a lot of things that I thought you'd be interested in hearing about. So I invited him on my channel, and he's agreed to come.
My pleasure.
So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Where are we right now?
Well, I would say for the one who doesn't know, we're on the most beautiful lake in the world. That's what people say when they visit. Yeah. And in the country of the eternal springs, that's it.
Yeah, the eternal spring. That's what I read about this lake online. And it certainly is. No heat and no AC here.
Totally. That was a big choice. What helped me to choose to stay. Or it was like when I cry around and I look around in the houses I was living and visiting, it was like, do you have no heating system? And they were like, no. Do you have cooling system? And they're like, no. I was like, wow, thank you.
So we're sitting, just so you know what we're looking at. We're looking at the lake right now as we chat with you. Let me just show you real quick. It's overcast today, so you can't see the volcanoes, but there's 3 volcanoes on the lake over here. And I'm going to show you overlays of what this looks like while the sun's out, because Chung and I are here for a week, so we have mostly pictures of sunshine and of our enjoyment here. So how did you find out about this place? How did you pick it?
Well, the place picked me, basically. 30 years ago, I took a sabbatical year, and my plan was to cross the Americas. I start the States, I skipped Canada, it was too cold, so I start the States, Mexico, and I came to Guatemala because it was on the path to south, and also because I have a friend who was invited me, living in Guatemala City, and he said, hey, come and stay with me while you are coming. So when I arrived in Guatemala City, first I have not much idea of Guatemala. So I spent a month with him, and then I arrived Easter week. Easter week is a moment in Guatemala, everybody leaves the country. It's a big vacation time.
Yeah.
So we were discussing, and he said, oh, I have an invitation to go on Lake 𝗥𝗲𝗏, to see some friends, we can stay someday with them. I said, well, let's go. At that time, we didn't have Google to check what it was looking like. And I was thinking a lake must be beautiful, on the highlands.
Yeah.
So the only things, the part was tricky is we left the city, Guatemala City at 10 o'clock at night, arrive at midnight, find these friends in a bar where they give him, they tell him you will find us every night there, and spend some time, drink some beer, party, take a boat. Took a boat to a house on the waterfront. And all this time, for me, it was like, I have no idea of the lake, but there were no moon, so the sky was full of stars, and I could feel the presence of the lake, but I have no idea. So I went to bed. Next morning, I woke up, and it was like, wow. And then I went down to the lake, look at the lake. The water was super transparent, which is, for me, coming from Grenoble in France. High altitude lakes are transparent. I went to swim. The water was not cold. I came back to the house and I asked, do you have heating system? And they say no. Do you have cooling system? They say no. They told me that's the most beautiful lake in the world, and it's the country of eternal spring. I was like, sold.
That's great. And did you work at that time at 𝗥𝗏𝗏, or how did that come about?
No, at that time was when I decided to stay. So I was between Guatemala City and here, and I did a training to be a tour guide. And I was trained by the Guatemalan Tourism Institute, and that was a way for me to be able to work and also to learn my Spanish again and to discover the country. And Guatemala, it's incredible because it's a small, compact country, and you have the diversity of location, of communities. You have Mayans living Mayan culture, and you can travel from Pacific coast to the Atlantic in a day. I mean, it's fantastic for that.
And he had a career as a tour guide at Tikal.
Tikal, yes, Tikal, and all the country.
So how long has it been? When did you? 30 years ago, you said.
Just barely 30 years.
30 years, right? Yeah, that's great. And so, what do you like most about this place?
Well, the most after the weather, which is always comfortable. I mean, comfortable in a sense you're never too cold, never too hot.
Yeah, yeah.
We have 2 seasons: dry season, rainy season.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not the monsoon. It's not Asia, so it's more temperate rain,
Yeah.
which is very comfortable. So after that, what I like is people, the Guatemalan people. And it's when I said Guatemalan, the Mayan people, and the people of the city, and the Guatemalan, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Always very nice and willing to help you. And then the quality of life this country can provide you. And then when I mean quality of life is something it's very hard to obtain in the first world, costs a lot of money, a lot of effort, but here you can have a very nice lifestyle.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have to agree 100% with that. And so, where are you from in France? Is it near the Alps, you said?
Yeah, Grenoble. Grenoble, it's in the Alps 68 Winter Olympic Gates for the one who have these kind of memories.
Right. And so, tell us about the Sunset Lodge at Titlan and some of the amenities that you have here. People can come and enjoy.
Okay, so when I decided to live on the lake, and I always lived on the lake because I like water, I was thinking, well, if I like this setup, maybe I'm sure some other people would like it.
Yeah.
So I start to build this apartment I have for rent. Right now I have 5 apartments, and they are self-catered. So for the COVID time, it's perfect because people come, we don't have contact, they can cook. If they know how to cook. If they don't know how to cook, we provide a chef also. That's an option.
Yeah.
So I build them oriented to what I like, which is the view, the proximity to the water. We have lots of amenities on the water, paddle, kayaks, all these things, and the comfort of a modern apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, and we love to cook, and you have a fully equipped kitchen, and there's a view. No matter where you stand in our apartment, you have a view. So it's a gorgeous place. And you took us water skiing this morning.
Yes. Why not?
And you have paddleboards,
Paddleboard, kayaks, hot tub on the water, sauna on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything oriented to the lake. So you can have a very personal, intimate experience with this beautiful natural asset. That's, I think, everybody should know.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about this resort, in addition to being, in my opinion, an amazing bargain, and I'll talk about that in other videos, what we're paying to stay here, but is just that you've made this place a place that you love, and you provided that to all your guests, so they're able to come here and enjoy what you love, and it's been really a nice experience. So thank you. So water skiing too. You mentioned you may be opening a
water ski school academy. Yeah, I've been water skiing since 17. I was 17, and here it's a perfect condition for water ski.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about the water.
Yeah.
You were like kind of skeptical.
I thought it would be cold because we went out at 7:30 in the morning or something, and I jumped in the water and it was cool, but I wouldn't call it cold.
Yeah.
And the water was fairly smooth, so I was able to get up first time right away, and it was a joy being up. And we've loved the hot tub on the waterfront, and it's really and the sauna. It's just a great place. I really enjoyed being here. So what was here when you arrived, where this resort sits now? So
where I built all these things, there were nothing. It was just raw land, and I started to develop it according what I was seeing in terms of how I can use the space.
Right, right. So you came here and you built a resort that both sustains you, it pays for your expenses because you rent out the units, plus it gives you the lifestyle you want.
Yes.
And that's an amazing dream, and that's something I want to ask you more about later that my subscribers would like to hear about. But was it difficult for you to build such a beautiful place when there's not much infrastructure here? I mean, probably when you started there was no road behind here, right? You were just bringing stuff in by boat. Right?
Well, we don't have infrastructure in the terms people understand it. I do have a big infrastructure in front of me, which is a lake.
Yes.
And on the water you can transport everything. Look at the Pharaoh and everybody's.
Right.
So It is, the remoteness is not an handicap. It makes the thing a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Because people said, oh, I'm going to build a house, because I do build houses for clients also. And they're like, oh, let's bring 100 bags of cement. I was like, well, no, we cannot, there's no big boat enough. But everything comes by boat in the area where I developed it.
Right.
So it was a little bit slower, but not impossible.
Yeah. So it's more just in time. You bring in the materials as you need them each week or whatever.
Yeah.
So that brings up a question for me. And Armand's already been kind enough. I'll be talking in a moment about what you can come here and live for in the various villages around here. But there's another niche or kind of people that would like to move somewhere. Maybe they don't have a monthly income, but they'll have some money. Maybe they'll sell their house, maybe they'll sell their business, and they want to move somewhere where they can have a sustainable income and build something that's their dream. And so I'm curious, what could you still do that today? And if you could, what would it cost to say maybe to buy a piece of land on the water and maybe build 4 small, maybe 1-bedroom apartments, and live in one and rent out the other 3? What would you think it would cost to do that now?
Well, it's the good thing is Lake Atitlán in Guatemala has not been discovered yet, so you still have opportunities to get into this market to a relatively reasonable price.
Right.
So you can buy a waterfront piece of land. I have a half-an-acre waterfront for $120,000.
Okay.
So that will be the cost of the land, and then if you add your main unit and a couple, you could have something between $50,000 and $60,000. It depends your lifestyle and how you want to build it.
And that's per unit?
That's per unit.
Okay.
And then you can live in one and rent the other one because you have waterfront. Now you can have also option of views without waterfront, because not everybody likes the water to go into it, but people who like to see the view.
Yes.
So there's also good opportunities higher on the lake, on the hills or mountain, and then you get a fantastic view at still a very affordable price.
So a little lower price maybe because it's not waterfront.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, good. And so that brings up the idea of if you had, let's say you built 4 units and you lived in one, and what could you rent for the other 3 for, would you guess, in the market right now?
Okay, there's 2 kind of rental: short-term rental, vacation rental, which is right now it's a little bit slow because people cannot travel.
Right.
So right now we have more monthly rental.
Monthly rental, yeah.
And so for example, we can get between $600 and $1,000. It depends your setup, it depends your amenities. But waterfront, it's a great rental income maker.
Okay, so you could rent the other 3 somewhere around $500, $600, $700 a month?
Yes, easily.
And so you would have, if you lived in one, you'd have $1,500 a month income potentially. And is that enough to live on, do you think, depending on what you're...
Well, if you have a low consumer of alcohol and a vegetarian, yes, it's plenty of money. I would say yes, you can live on this. Right. Of course, everybody has different habits, and if you have more high quality product you are used to consume, it may be a little bit more money, but generally speaking, here's the thing is you have fresh vegetable and fruit all year round.
And very good prices.
And very good prices.
Yeah.
The price are very stable. I did studies of my market expenses and weekly and how much costs the product, and it's really stable over the years.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's go up because it's seasonal, but generally speaking, it's fantastic.
Okay, so if someone lived like I do, they could live on that rent off of those other 3 units, it sounds like.
Yes, totally.
Certainly we could from our experience living here. And so that brings up another type of person who comes to our channel to learn about places to live. If someone moved to Pana or to San Pedro, one of the little villages here, and rented, say, a 1-bedroom apartment, what's the range, the cost to live in these places? Maybe just for rent and utilities and food, if they're cooking at home mostly, maybe going out to dinner once or twice a week, living a simple life.
I mean, you don't have to cook forcibly at home, because in Panarachel and San Pedro you have lots of options very affordable. When you know the place, you find family-run restaurant where it's, you know, like for $3 you have a meal. So I would say in San Pedro, 𝗓𝗏𝗄𝐿, San Pedro is still more affordable because it's not the entry port of the lake for tourism. So San Pedro you can get the $350, $250, 500, 600 the unit for rent per month.
Okay, so 350 to
600.
600.
It's because 600 it will be more outside the village, like a little house. 350 could be an apartment or a top floor of a house, but more urban.
In the city more, yeah.
Then 𝗓𝗏𝗄𝐿, it's more expensive. 𝗓𝗏𝗄𝐿, it's more people like 𝗓𝗏𝗄𝐿 because it's easy access. It's more expat community. It's the biggest expat community on the lake. So there it could be between $500 and $700.
Okay.
These deals sometimes showing up, but there's so many people looking for it, they don't last on the market.
Okay. So a little more to live in Panama.
Yes, a little bit more. Then after, if you go to the market, if you don't buy in the grocery stores like the big ones with big name, you get great deals.
Yeah, great deals. We've just been buying from the Mayans in the little stores you see. Okay, good. So what does it cost to have someone come clean your house twice a week and shop for you?
The minimum salary in Guatemala, you have a minimum salary, so it's around $12 a day for 8 hours.
Okay.
If somebody comes just for certain hours, you can pay $15, $20 a day because they don't get any other compensations than just work. But you know, that's what you can get. Okay,
good. So some of our listeners are single, some are married, some are transitional in their relationships. So what's it like? Do you have a love interest here? Do you have a partner? And what's it like dating here?
Well, I've been through 3 divorces, so I'm rethinking my relational model in order to find the next one.
Okay.
So at the moment, I'm on the market. Ladies.
He has a beautiful resort, he has a beautiful French accent, and he's got a full kitchen full of food and staff. He'd be quite a catch. So you're on the market now. And so have you done much dating here, or what's it like being single?
So yes, dating, it's, when you're a foreigner, you are high ticket for Guatemalan, okay?
Yeah.
So then you have the distance, the lake, which is sometimes a problem.
So if the woman lives in another part of the lake,
or in Guatemala City, or in Antigua, or the big cities, because that's the one who will looking for a partner like me.
Yes.
Then it's a different culture, so I think I will better probability to have success in a pool of expat women.
Yeah.
I have friends who are dating and married and clients, local women, and they're perfectly happy. There's nothing wrong, and they are beautiful person and will take care very well of you and them. So yes, it's dating. Yes, it's a process.
Great answer. So how do you feel? And you've already answered that just with your enthusiasm, but how do you feel about the safety of Guatemala? What are your thoughts about safety?
So yes, Guatemala is always portrayed as an unsafe destination. But last time I went to a convention in Chicago, when I came out of the airport, they said, don't go down to South Chicago because as a white man you will be, they were going to take everything. So I'm like, okay. So Guatemala, no, it's not dangerous. It's like any country. There's areas, of course, where there's more problem. I have 2 daughters born and raised here. They went to school because we are on the lake by boat.
Yeah.
And we never had a problem, never feel in danger.
Yeah.
So I would say the lake, because there's a big Mayan community, and the Mayan look after each other, and so I feel very safe. I wouldn't say it's a dangerous place. Well, also, it's all a question of how you relate with the community you are a guest.
Yes.
If you are an arrogant person and mistreating the people, of course, but if you are helping the people, if you have a sensitivity toward the local community, a little bit curious how they live, and you get involved in different aspects, you can sponsor the local football team. For example, in my village, we patronize a team of soccer players. We buy them the shirts, and I have clients who bring used shoes, used ball. So you have to be more than just somebody who just take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
When you share, and you can also give English lesson if you are English speaking and you feel to, there's plenty of way to integrate a community and then not being a target.
Yeah.
Because people don't know you.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I like to say you're a great representative of your home country or France.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you've learned Spanish well. I've heard you speak to everyone.
I learned Spanish with my first wife. I finished to learn English with my second wife,
Yeah.
and I speak French, of course, and I understand a little bit of the local language. I never learn it fully because there's many variation between the villages, and people always laugh at you when you try to speak.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Well, Spanish, you're 90% there because a lot of the locals speak Spanish, even if they're speaking their local village language also. So, what type of visa do you have, and or are you a resident, or what's it cost? What's all that like?
So yes, the good thing with Guatemala, it's not very a controlled country. It means that first thing you come as a tourist, so you get a 3 months visa that you can renew it. And then technically you are supposed to leave the country for 1 or 2 days and you can start again to have a 3-month visa. Now what you have to understand is that if you stay, as I know some people that have been 20 years on a tourist visa, you are kind of stretching the system, because in any country when you spend more time than as a tourist, it's become your residence country. So you have to adapt your visa situation to your situation, which is now I live in Guatemala. But because here there's not much control, people can stay on a visa tourist for many years.
So they just come and stay, you mean? They don't even bother to do visa runs?
Yeah, well, they do visa run, but there's way, some people take the opportunity to go back to their country or go to the next visit another country, and they get their stamp back again.
Right.
Now it seems they're trying to enforce that people who have too many tourist stamps, to tell them, look, you have to adapt your visa status to the fact that it's your resident country.
And so you've gotten a residence visa?
So me, because I was married with a Guatemalan, I get my residency, permanent residency.
Yeah.
And because now I have children also who are Guatemalan, born here, so that's another kind of residency. To get your residency, you have to prove that you get $1,000 rent per month. So it can be rental, it can be a social security checks or any other things.
A pension, any kind of income.
Yeah, any kind of income. 1,000, 1,200 if 2 person.
Okay.
Unless they change it, but with that you get pension or jubilado status, which is retired. If you don't have it, you start with a 2 years temporary residency, and then after you can apply for permanent residency. Okay. If you get married with a Guatemalan, boom. If you get the kids in Guatemala, you get it.
Okay. And do you remember what it costs to get a residency visa?
So there's 2 ways to do it.
Yeah.
Some people do it personally.
Yeah.
So it costs them basically the trip to the immigration, the photocopies and things like that.
Yeah.
Some people doesn't want because they don't speak enough Spanish, they don't feel comfortable because it's a process, it's very bureaucratic and you always need a stamp and they always forget this and that. Then you hire a lawyer, you hire somebody who specializes in that. It can run about $1,000, I would say, and they take care of your
everything
papers.
for you. Okay, good. And so 30 years.
And counting.
And counting. Are you happy?
Do I like? Of course I am happy. It's my dream life. It's, when I was 30 years ago, suddenly I've kind of understanding what quality of life means, and it's been like that since. Yeah, I already knew he's happy. I've been chatting with him for a few days, but I wanted you to know what his reaction was. So there's 3 resources that Armand's providing to you. You just need to click the link in the notes below the video. The first resources is real estate web page. He will help you find a home if you want in Atitlan, is that right? Yes. And also if you want to buy a property somewhere else in Guatemala and you just want someone to sound your ideas off of to make sure
you're following the rules and that you're getting yourself into a good situation. He knows a lot about real estate, so go to that link. If you want to come stay at the lodge here, there's a link, the Atitlan Sunset Lodge link, and then if you want to check out Armand's YouTube channel, he has a channel that's where he has testimonials from people that he's helped do different things, include to stay here at the lodge. So it's been a real pleasure to meet you, and I've certainly learned a lot from you, and I hope that my subscribers are enjoy your company as much as I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our video. Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.